challenges, in our opinion, seem to have overwhelmed our security institutions.
The governors are supposed to be the state security officers of their state.
There is need for us to at least engage the traditional rulers.
We need to do something about our porous borders.
We have to own it from the unit level to the ward level to the local government to state.
Mr. President, the importance of today for us is for us to take action.
Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
There also exist some areas in the Senate standing orders that requires amendment.
Senate moves to amend its standing order to meet with best legislative practice.
The National Assembly and NDIC are key institutions, critical to the growth and development of the Nigerian economy.
And Committee on Banking promises more partnership between National Assembly and NDIC for enhanced economic growth. Hello, compliments of the season and welcome to this edition of Inside the Senate. As it were, the Senate is on its 2021 Christmas and New Year break and bills to resume on Tuesday the 18th of January 2022. Before the break, it considered several bills while also attending to some matters in the committee room through a public hearing and a roundtable meeting. For details of what these meetings were about, join me after the break for the full program. I am your regular anchor, Hussaina Amina Abuki. Don't go away.
The Senate to send a message to the President
to reap opportunities from that.
To raise a matter of urgent public importance. And we are aware that when this particular motion comes up for a longer term development, arise to second the motion.
Those in favor of this prayer say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Welcome back. Before the recess, the Senate took a step to amend its standing orders. The Senate standing orders guide its activities with a view to accommodating issues that would make such orders dynamic to facilitate effective legislative processes. It was last amended in 2015, despite which a number of issues still require amendments to respond to emerging developments that require enhanced rules of practice and procedures to tackle the developments in Nigeria's evolving democracy. It was in the light of this that before the break on Tuesday the 14th of December 2021, a motion was brought up on the need for the amendment. For details of this and other activities in the Red Chamber, let's take this report as compiled and presented from our studio.
I rise to move that the amendment of the standing rules.
The motion was titled Amendment of the Standing Rules of the Senate pursuant to Order 3 of the Senate Rules 2015 and sponsored by Chairman Senate Committee on Rules and Businesses, Senator Sadiq Suleiman Umar.
The development necessitated and has made it imperative to amend the standing orders of the Senate 2015 as amended, occasioned by the split and addition of Senate standing committees by the 8th Senate, and to have their functions and jurisdictions reflect in the standing order of the Senate.
More clarifications were given on aspects of the standing rules needing the amendment.
There is contradiction between what we have here as Senate rules, in the Senate rules, and what is obtained in the House of Representatives.
Our standing orders, standing order of the Senate 2015, at the moment does not cover all committees' jurisdictions. Some of the committees we have in the Senate are not provided for in the standing orders as it is presently.
As a result, the amendment was effected in the Committee of the Whole, with a highlight being the inclusion of new committees in the amended rules. Some highlights of the amendment are that election of the Senate President and his deputy shall be by the closed ballot system. Election of the Senate President and his deputy shall be by a simple majority. The senator shall not be a member of more than 7 committees. A committee shall consist of not less than 7 members and not more than 20 members. As a resolution, The amendments were considered and approved in the Committee of the Whole. Meanwhile, a bill seeking the establishment of a university in Imo State that will offer courses in agriculture and environment was presented for second reading before the Christmas and New Year break. The bill, which was titled Federal University of Agriculture and Environmental Sciences, ABO, Imo State Establishment Bill, and sponsored by Senator Rochas Okorocha, was presented on Tuesday, the 14th of December 2021.
The university will provide the holistic development of agriculture and environmental education, knowledge skills, and telescopic vision on features that will help them contribute to accelerate agricultural growth rates, enhance farmers' income, and generate employment in the sector.
With this, the bill scaled second reading and referred to the Committee on Tertiary Education and TED Fund to report back in 4 weeks.
We now go on a short break for our notebook segment.
A bill is a piece of legislative proposal targeted at becoming a law. It may be sponsored by the executive, a private member, or a member of the public. It is considered to be read first time when the Senate leader presents it to the floor, read by the clerk of the Senate, after which the presiding officer reads it and seeks the floor's concurrence through a question. When this is done, a date is allotted for its debate leading to second reading and referral to a committee for further legislative action. The committee in working on the bill may organize a public hearing for public input. The report of the hearing is compiled and presented to Senate plenary for more legislative action that will eventually lead to reading it the third time and passage. When passed, it is referred to a joint committee of the House for concurrence, after which it is presented to the executive for signing into law.
The only way out of the pandemic is for the population to observe the recommended measures advised by the NCDC. The Senate Committees on Health and Primary Health Care and Communicable Diseases will continue to engage with the Federal Ministry of Health and the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19.
Welcome back. We now continue the program with reports from the committee room, where the Committee on Establishment and Public Service held a public hearing on a bill for an act to establish the Integrated Data Management Commission 2021. The bill is sponsored by Senator Yusuf Abubakar Yusuf. The report is compiled and presented from our studio.
Hence, this session of public hearing.
Chairman of the Committee on Establishment and Public Service, Senator Ibrahim Shekaro, spoke on the purpose of the public hearing while declaring it open.
The purpose is to allow major stakeholders that have to do with the business of the content of this bill to express their opinion, to share with us their stand for and or against the proposed bill.
Sponsor of the bill, Senator Yusuf spoke on the need for the bill for which the public hearing was being held.
It is a bill that is to prepare Nigerians to meet the challenges of the international community.
This was followed by observation from the representative of the National Communications Commission (NCC), the Corporate Affairs Commission (CAC), as well as the Central Security Clearance System (CSCS). They observed that Section 10 of the proposed bill, which empowers the Commission when established to, among other things, enumerate all existing corporate entities in Nigeria under one data system and conduct a review of their certificates, annual returns, as well as audited reports, is a duplication of some of their functions.
We actually find this very far-reaching in the sense that it would seek to undermine the independence or the, statutory provisions and the ambits of operations by a number of corporate entities, including the NCC. So by virtue of this proposed section now, it would actually be contrary to the provision of the NCA, which has established the NCC as an independent regulatory authority and mandates it to submit its annual reports to the National Assembly.
The Corporate Affairs Commission has these records under one data system already. The records are available to public and upon payment of prescribed fee. It is further submitted that any effort at creating any other commission to hold and store the same data or information will amount to a duplication of responsibility and function.
There's a repetition of role or what the commission will be doing going forward. So there needs to be some level of integration, I beg your pardon, on the role of the commission. So what you should be doing is bringing together the role of all the other MDAs and making sure that it is a one-stop shop for gaining information regarding any entity.
Also present was a representative of the Nigeria Deposit Insurance Commission, NDIC. Their grounds with the bill is the naming of the head of the commission when established as Director General and Chief Accounting Officer.
We suggest that that name should be either Chief Executive or Chief Administrative Officer, because by giving that officer Chief Accounting Officer, even though we know what it means, but there is tendency to cause confusion with the accountant or the accounts department whatsoever.
In a similar vein, the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) suggested ways for the appointment of board members of the commission when established, as well as the need to harmonize two sections of the bill that conflict with each other's.
The appointments will be subjected to the confirmation by the Senate, just as other agencies established by the Constitution. Worthy of note also is the inconsistency in Section 3 and 5 on the number of the commissioners. While Section 3 mentioned 3 commissioners, Section 5 mentioned 4. So there needs to be some kind of harmony in the two sections.
Some committee members expressed their opinions on the proposed bill and the responses it has generated.
From what I've heard, there are a lot of things that could be corrected as far as making this bill right is concerned. My understanding is that this bill is a very good idea. If there are inconsistencies and contradictions, we should work on eradicating them rather than a blanket throwaway of the bill.
For me, I wouldn't say I'm against this bill, but again, I think some of you actually try to confuse us the more as the one step to take because of your presentations. But of course, Mr. Chairman, at the end, we'll look at it holistically and make sure that we take a position that will help.
6 people gave their views, and I can just say it was 6 against 0, 6-0, because all of you condemned this bill, because you people are scared that what is going to happen. But if the government is very conscious of data management, they will be able to put a lot of structure in the place, and everybody will fall in as soon as you leave a primary school. They will know that you have left. In England, as soon as you are 18, a memo will come to you that you are 18 years old, go and register for election. All these things have been put in place, and we need to send some people abroad to go and see how to manage things, and government should key into it. If government don't key into all these things, we are just deceiving ourselves.
While acknowledging the various observations raised, the sponsor of the bill disclosed that corruption and lack of integrity in Nigeria's data system prompted him to sponsor the bill.
Let us find an entity which will bring integrity into the data that we have. This is what this is all about. There was a time EFCC arrested some people, and they were found that they were using companies that were not registered by CAC, and they were awarded contracts. If there was an institution that will look at the integrity of that kind of thing, that thing wouldn't have happened. Today you will be surprised. There are people in the civil service who own about 10, 15, 30, 50 companies registered by them. Yes, there's nothing against registration, but if an individual or a family of 2 or 3 people have 20 companies, 30 companies, what are they doing with them? Today, people go and register in the bank, they open account, the name is Yusuf, the signature is that of Smart. And we operate in this country as if, nothing is happening. Corruption is killing us every blessed day. And it's lack of integrity in our data system.
The committee chairman in his closing remarks expressed surprise at the absence of the Federal Bureau of Statistics at the hearing.
I'm surprised the Federal Bureau of Statistics is not here. Probably the Secretariat did not invite them or they didn't take note of the advert. But all the same, we will direct the Secretariat to obtain comments from the Federal Bureau of Statistics, because I think it is one government agency that plays a very big role in collating data and statistics of all the happenings in the country.
The hearing ended with the committee chairman promising that they will peruse all submissions and compile a report for presentation to Senate plenary.
You are watching Inside the Senate. Shortly before the recess, the Senate Committee on Banking, Insurance and Other Financial Institutions, in collaboration with the Nigerian Deposit Insurance Commission, NDIC, organized a roundtable event with the theme, The Role of NDIC in Promoting Effective Supervisory Framework in the Nigerian Banking Sector. It took place in Abuja on the 2nd of December 2021.
Welcome you to another round of stakeholders engagement.
Declaring the session open, the committee chairman, Senator Ubasani, elaborated on the importance of legislative partnership with NDIC to Nigeria's economy.
The National Assembly and NDIC are key institutions critical to the growth and development of the Nigerian economy. While we provide the legal and institutional frameworks, NDIC carries out its regulatory or supervisory responsibilities in order to safeguard the banking sector. Bringing stakeholders together to brainstorm on how well we have fared in carrying out our mandate is the best way of breathing life into our operations and repositioning us for efficient service delivery.
I'm greatly delighted and honored to welcome you all to the 2021 NDIC.
In his remarks, the chairman of the NDIC board spoke on the two main objectives of the deposit insurance as being to ensure that depositors do not lose their deposits held in insured banks when such banks become insolvent and subsequently fail, as well as to contribute to the stability of the financial system by engendering public confidence in the banking sector. He spoke on the theme of the event.
The theme of today's retreat is very topical, particularly in the light of current developments in the economy and the challenges presented by the complexity of the financial system and the role the sector plays in promoting economic development.
For the NDIC Director of the Bank Examination Department, his presentation focused on the efforts of the NDIC in collaboration with the CBN to protect banks from plunging into financial risks.
We have always complimented the CBN in banking supervision. We have been helped in our task by the fact that deposit guarantee is compulsory. We have we started with the fixed premium. We have introduced a differential premium assessment. In also differentiating premium, we have forced banks to look at their risks, because what it says is that the less your risk, the less you will pay. So it's in your hands whether you want to pay a lot of premium or you want to pay less premium. And then we are looking at more effect. We've tried a lot of distress resolutions here, but we're looking at distress resolution again, and we're also looking at the way we assist banks that are in trouble.
This attracted comments from members of the committee.
With the combined risk-based supervision by CBN and NDIC,
the question will then arise, how did we end up with a 4.4 trillion AMCON, bad debt portfolio that they've been struggling with for over 10 years?
Some of those loans are not necessarily by fintech companies. They are loans granted by microfinance banks. And most of those loans are AI driven, and we're aware of them. Not all of them are going bad. Some of them are micro loans, but they are being monitored.
More questions and comments came up.
I don't know what is our position on the issue of NDIC contributing to the resolution cost fund of AMCON, knowing fully that NDIC is also a major beneficiary of the financial services sector. And of course, every year you declare surplus and contribute to the federation accounts.
Currently, as we speak, we abide by the provisions of the Fiscal Responsibility Act that requires the corporation to transfer 80% of the operating surplus to the Consolidated Revenue Fund. If there are changes to be effected on this current arrangement, like you mentioned, I think it's an issue that we need to sit down between the legislators, Federal Ministry of Finance, and all the key stakeholders to thoroughly discuss on this issue and find a way forward.
I'm really thinking going forward, there is no way we will not end up having to tinker with the Fiscal Responsibility Act as it is presently.
Earlier in his comment, the NDIC Director of Insurance and Surveillance, Galadima Gana, acknowledged that due to the proper regulation the Nigerian banking sector has been subjected to, it has been able to maintain a financial profile of the following magnitude. Total assets, not less than 57 trillion naira. Total deposit, not less than 40 trillion naira. And total loans and advances granted to individuals and companies, not less than 35 trillion naira.
That's why that particular sector is vigorously regulated. And we need to also continually keep on strengthening the regulation of that particular sector.
After more contributions by stakeholders as well as committee members, the meeting ended with the committee chairman in an interview with the press giving a summary of it.
This is a normal stakeholders engagement that we always do with the management of NDIC. Today we look at the areas where we can support NDIC to actualize their mandate as the National Assembly. We look at the laws and how we can strengthen the institution. And I can say that we're highly satisfied and happy with how far they've gone in trying to do their own activities. So I can say that the meeting has been very eventful. A lot of members of our committee have made their own contribution, and we're willing and prepared to keep supporting the NDIC.
Up next in our program is the profile segment. Our Senator of the Week is Senator Chimaroke Nnamani.
Senator Chimaroke Nnamani was born on the 3rd of May 1960 and represents Enugu East Senatorial District under PDP. He attended Methodist Primary School, Enugu, for his first school leaving certificate. He then proceeded to the College of Immaculate Conception, CIC, Enugu, and earned his West African School Certificate, WASC. At the tertiary level, Senator Chimaroke Nnamani attended the College of Medicine, University of Nigeria, Enugu campus from 1977 and graduated with a first degree in medicine in 1983. He did his postgraduate trainings at the State University of New York City, Interfaith Medical Center, Downstate Medical Center, Brooklyn, New York City, as well as Perinatal Biological Center amongst many medical institutions in California and South Florida in the USA, specializing in obstetrics and gynecology. He joined politics, contested and won election as governor of Enugu State, serving 2 terms first from May 1999 to May 2003 and second from 2003 to 2007. He was also elected as senator under the PDP and served from 2007 to 2011, but lost in his second attempt in the 2011 general elections. In spite of this, however, Senator Chimaroke Nnamani contested and won in the 2015 general elections, serving till 2019, and contested again in 2019 and won, serving till date. In the Red Chamber, Senator Nnamani is the chairman, Senate Committee on Cooperation and Integration in Africa and Nepal, and a member of several other committees. His legislative interests include unity amongst Nigerians, health, education, and youth and women empowerment.
This brings us to the end of this week's edition of Inside the Senate. Join us next week for another edition, and thanks for watching. Remember to stay safe and protect yourself from the COVID-19 virus. God bless Nigeria.